So it's Saturday morning here. Going to be doing a quick live. Not quick, taking my time. I have about 4 different razors here that I'm gonna be honing up. All right, let me just get everything set up. Maybe I can put the chat here in my PC. Yeah. All right, I got chat right in front of me. What do we have here? By the way, first of all, I think it is Eric, the Cajun's Blade. I believe it is his birthday today, so happy birthday to Eric. Good friend of mine. All right, we can have this. So, what do I have here? I have a Japanese natural, and this is about a 4.5. Hello, Tony. Hello, Lizek. Hope you guys are doing well. Alrighty. So, we have a stainless steel Freador Japanese natural. On the sides, I also have good morning, Bill. Yeah, I believe it is his birthday, so happy birthday to Eric. I have some OPR here I'm going to be testing out, and some water. I got about 4 different razors here that I'm going to be honing up. Afterwards, I have this huge coticule that got sent to me by my friend Sean Griffin, who has been doing some awesome content. All right, that's more comfortable for me. I've been really wanting to do some convex honing, Bill. OPR, ONR, optimum no rinse. The bottle that got sent to me said OPR for some reason, but it did say optimum no rinse. Yeah, I can feel a little bit of sticking in there. And that's not diluted at all. Blue goo, the Smurf juice. And I don't know if you've tried it, Bill, but it smells almost like a, I don't know, it smells like medicine when you were a kid. Definitely has a unique smell to it. So I got this stone for a nice price. I like the size of it. Look how thick, wide it is. It's about 5 by 3.5. I think it's a good size. It's big enough to give me some working room. And I'm listening to a very nice wispy sound, especially on the return stroke. And I just got it for the away stroke. It will be hard to give them up the most on glorious stank of ballastol. No, this one I was working on this stone yesterday, Tony, on this razor, and it actually I was honing on a coticule last night on it to do all the bevel setting and mid-range work. I really enjoy the type of edge I really enjoy is I'm not that good with the Mikawa Nagura on a JNAT, but I can do everything on a coticule and then switch to a JNAT and get a really nice edge. Yes, this is a Japanese natural stone. Is the Japanese natural the king of naturals? I think a lot of people would say that they are, just because they can provide a wide variety of range and they provide an amazing keen edge. I mean, that's the stuff samurais would sharpen their katanas with, so. Cut paper. This will cut dimensions. I actually don't like the paper test for razors just because the grind that they have, it's so thin. And I don't know if it actually damages the edge. Probably not, man. It's just paper, but it'll definitely cut through paper. I'll tell you that. I feel like the hanging hair test is my favorite out of all of them. Although I do like the packing peanut. Zach, what's up, Zach? Hope you're doing well, my friend. I have been taking a liking to the packing peanut. I still haven't, like, got it just where I want it to, the configurations of it, but I'm getting close. Tony, thanks for stopping by, my friend. I appreciate it. So, yeah, just putting the finishing touches here on this coffee time. You know it. You like my girly coffee mug? My girl loves buying this shit. Funny story. We live in a not so big apartment. It's a small space. But she keeps buying coffee mugs. And I was like, we don't have space for any more coffee mugs. And I'm talking to a friend of mine. He says, okay, brother, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to the cabinet. You're going to look at the mug that she uses the least. And you're going to throw that away in the trash. And then next month, you're going to do the same thing. The one that she uses the least, and you're going to throw it away. So I did that, but I got a little bit carried away, and I threw like 3 of them. And that same exact night when she came back from work, she decides that a coffee mug that she hasn't used in like 3 months, she's going to use that day. Where's my coffee mug? Where's my coffee mug? And then she looks into the trash and she sees all the coffee mugs. So now I'm just like, okay. Now I took some of her coffee mugs and I use them for dipping my brushes into them. I'm hoping my black and green shadow will be here soon. Man, I hope so too. I've seen some of my friends have some really good results with both the black and the green shadow. The only thing I'm kind of like pissed out about the black shadow and green shadow is that I had bought a black shadow in the past before, and I sold it. At that time, the black shadow was advertised as being the keenest one. They would say the freaking black shadow was finer than the green shadow. And now all of a sudden the green shadow is finer than the black shadow. That kind of, I don't know. My heart hurts. 757 history, got my coffee as well. Good old Saturday. I hope you guys had a good night's sleep, rested. The week is over. Weekend is finally here. So, time to enjoy. Thanks. Nice weekend and happy honing. Do you use Mikawa Nagura? I do, and I actually can't really hone on a JNAT without the Mikawa Nagura. I feel like it's harder for me. For me, using Mikawa Nagura, it's like so easy. It's like the synthetic honing of naturals. You just use the Mikawa slurry and you go from coarse to fine. It's very simple. And then I had my buddy Robert, the Razor's Edge. He had some stones, some JNATs. And since I didn't use my JNAT as much, I sent him my Mikawa. I said, like, keep it. I'll get some new Mikawa later on. So I had to buy some because I tried honing just on diamond slurry, and not for me. No, I know you can get good edges, and I had gotten some nice and keen edges off the diamond slurry, but not as comfortable as when I do the Mikawa. Phone book or newspaper is okay in my book. They are made from pure ground softwood pulp. Many papers have a clay sizing, which has an abrasive effect. Only the shadow knows. I have no newspaper here, sadly. newspaper or phone book. I don't have any of those. Okay, I'm gonna make my touch a little bit lighter here. I think after this razor, which is almost done, I was just doing a little touch up before. Just a little touch up here, making sure it's nice and keen. I like doing this coticule to J-Nat. It gives a very keen edge. I see a lot of Italian barbers doing this progression. And I could see myself doing a 6-foot wheel to hollow out the bevel on the coticule and finishing on a flat J-Nat. I could see that. I could see myself doing that a lot, actually. Tomatoes, grapes, hares, packing peanuts, beans, tomatoes, beans, tomatoes. Okay, I gotta remember to use light pressure. We're here at the end of the road with this razor, at least. Because it feels like it's done. Oh, this is, we call it the blue goo or Smurf juice. It smells like medicine from when you were a kid. That is called Optimum No Rinse, and that was recommended to me by a variety of guys. Robert, the Razor's Edge, but the first one who started using it was John, JPO, and Sean Griffin sent me a bottle because I can't get it here in Puerto Rico, and he sent me a bottle. It kind of, when the razor starts sticking to the stone, it makes it so you can keep honing without having that sticking and stopping. Whenever you hone a razor on a stone, and this happens a lot in coticules when you get to the water stage, when you're doing your stroke, you might feel like it's sticking and stopping. And I really do not like what that does to the edge. I don't think sticking is a measure of you're done. And if somebody thinks that when a razor sticks to their stone, the razor is done, they're entitled to be wrong. That's for sure. Gunty, buenos días, mi amigo. Ves que yo hablo español de verdad, no es de embuste. It's important that you seal all sides of the stones. They tend to crack and never soak in completely in water. Yes. I don't know how you guys seal your stones, but I use a canned clear acrylic enamel spray. It's just so easy, and that's how I sealed this one. You know, I like the tradition. We did talk about this. I'm getting scolded on a chat because I didn't tell them I was going live. I forgot what I was saying because I got scolded. I do like the traditional. I remembered now. I do like the tradition of. Sorry, Rob. Guys, if you haven't checked out Rob, the Razor's Edge, check him out. He's a real great guy. Ooh, we got Glenn in the house. So I do like the tradition of using lacquer. I like the look and aesthetic that it gives. But it's so easy just to use that canned acrylic. I thought it was Dawn dish soap. I have used Dawn soap before. It felt nice. Yes, I actually do have Dawn dish soap, and I actually bought the Dawn dish soap that you spray. That comes in a spray bottle. And my girl, and I bought it specifically for honing. And we were running out of dish soap, and my girl was like, I'm going to use your Dawn dish soap. No, 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 no. That's my honing shit. Do not touch my honing stuff. So I went to the gas station and bought some normal. But the difference between O&R and Dawn dish soap is that I feel like if I were to put slurry on this right now, and I would feel it to start to stick, the Dawn dish soap kind of cleans the slurry away. It doesn't have the same effect. O&R kind of like blends itself with the slurry, and you can keep going. Now, I'm not going to lie, it feels very similar to using glycerin and soap together. So like a glycerin soapy mix. But it's a nice tool to have. And that's what it comes down to. It's about having tools in your arsenal. By the way, we got Eric, the Cajun Blade here. You should not be so sassy to the poor lady. Everybody say happy birthday to Eric. Beautiful man. I think we're done here. All right. So that was the stainless steel Freador. I think the next one I'm going to hone up here is Sean G's razor that he sent me. Bill and Gary, Eric, the Cajun Blade. You should all check them out. So there we go. That's the Freador. Got a little paddle strap here. I have no idea if I should I take some packing peanut, and I really don't want to get off the chair right now, so I'm not going to do that right now. This is a Japanese natural. Let me clean it off here real quick. I want to show the back side of it. So here's the back side, and this was sealed with that acrylic enamel, clear acrylic enamel I talked about. Give it like 5, and that's why it's glossy. I gave it like 5 or 6 layers. It's a nice size. It's 5 by 3.5, something like that. Okay, so done with the Freador. I don't usually finish on water on a JNat, but I've tried it before. I had one successful shave where I was like, this is still very comfortable. And here is the coticule that Sean G is gonna gift me. And this is the razor that he sent me. Let's see, let's check it out before we start honing on it. Geneva Cutlery. I believe Geneva is American. Somebody else could probably knows better than I do. Let me see. Yeah, it's USA. I like the acrylic for its ease of use. I do like the aesthetic more of the traditional lacquer, but I will never go back to using lacquer. Taking a piece of tape here, 700, like Sean wanted. Caught alive, morning gents. Welcome to the den. I was thinking of something witty to say, and nothing came to mind. Oh no, gringe. Alright. So when I put my layer of tape, I try not to put it here on this side. Like, I wouldn't put it over it. Right. I wouldn't put it like this. I try to put it where that shoulder doesn't touch it. And this is a master class on what I do on tape. Once I have it flat like that, I take my scissor and snip it off. That way I don't have anything hanging off. Norway, on my pepper mill, that is making dinner. How do you decide when to use tape? Exactly what Eric said. And most of the time, when you ask me, it's going to be like what Eric said. Because he's the one that taught me. I was talking to Robert last night. If you don't mind, and if you want to go to detail, Eric, I wouldn't mind to... I wouldn't mind to see that here. On this one, I'm using tape because Sean G honed on tape, and he asked me to specifically hone on tape. Now, let's say with tape this is 18 or 19 degrees, and that's what he wants, then that's what he's going to get because he told me to specifically hone on tape. But usually I check the bevel angles, and there's like a range that I like. I feel like between 15 and 18 is my favorite. Cosmetic preservation. Okay, I have LPB stone, or LPB, LV, and Lagris. I'm gonna start with the LV. So I'm gonna make a slurry here. If you're having trouble slurrying up stones, instead of going like this all in the water, try hitting a dry area and then incorporating that. Rick, yeah, I'm up early this morning, having a cup of coffee, chatting with my friends, wishing Eric a happy birthday. One thing I gotta say about this stone from Sean G is that all this extra space with the coticule makes the honing go extremely fast. It's very, oh man, it's such a nice experience. So I don't have a full-size coticule like this. They can be quite expensive. Arigato. Thank you, my friend, but I don't consider myself a master at all. Less lat, my bad. Less lat. Thank you for picking up on that. Thank you for picking up on that. All right. $800 for a coticule is crazy. I mean, not if it's from a specific mine, but okay. Just setting myself here for comfort. Seems like all the slurry wants to go to that left side of the sharpening stone. When you're honing and you've done this for a while, it almost feels like you're playing an instrument. Like you just fall into a rhythm. And some guys play heavy metal, and some guys are playing for a old people's homes. But yeah, it feels like we're all playing an instrument. I'm gonna stay on this slurry for a while. You know why? Because this had Sean G's Jane at edge, and I want to make sure I'm doing the correct work here. Yes, everybody say happy birthday to Eric, the Cajun Blade. Good friend of mine, really. If there's anything I'm happy about that this like hobby gifted me, is the friends I've made. Eric, Robert, Bill, Leon, Greg, Sean, Griffin, Glenn. So I want to make sure I make enough work here to make sure it has my edge. And I don't know where I'm landing. I don't know what grit this is, you know? And it does not matter. It does not matter at all. Oh man, look at this guy. This Glenn guy from Norway. By the way, Eric, is it your 29th birthday or 30th? Come on, man. What a suck up. Come on. Sheesh. Man. Usually guys say, okay, honing on a coticule takes a long time. And usually most guys have a small little coticule. Because for the price, you can get a small little coticule. But when you have a big coticule like this, the honing goes by pretty fast. The Shorkin Zone, happy Saturday, my friend. We're just chilling here, having our little coffee, having a little honing session. Honing this razor for my friend Sean Griffin, who put an amazing Japanese edge on this. Don't forget about the slate at the back. Oh, you mean the black shadow? I have honed on the back of a coticule, and it gives a good... I don't know, it did not make my edge worse after I was done with a coticule. Can you explain what a Japanese edge in this context? Well, the edge of the razor is always the edge of the razor. It's steel. But when people say Japanese edge or coticule edge, what they mean is the last stone that you use to hone on. For example, this here. How do I do this? Here I have this Japanese rock. And so if I finish the razor on that Japanese rock, I would call that a Japanese edge because it was the last stone that the razor was on. Now there's a caveat to that. Sometimes guys do a bunch of work on a coticule and then do 1 or 2 laps on the Japanese edge. In my mind, that is still a coticule edge because you have not done enough work to change the apex of the razor to go from one characteristics to the other. But that's just me, and everybody's entitled to be wrong, so... Just common sense honing. And that's what we do around here. I think we did the work here with this slurry. Yeah, Shuriken. I can tell it's a that you're interested in it, and please do not be afraid of jumping in, because when you first start out, there are a lot of terms that people are like, what does he mean when he says that? By the way, Sean, have you found your glasses yet? Yes, I did, sir. I got them right here. I don't usually use them on camera, but I do use glasses. There should be a schedule for these lives. Oh, heck yeah. And you can do, at least I get the option to make duo lives, like have somebody else in the live with me. Good old gafas. Yep. I should use my glasses more often because I feel like it's hurting my vision not using them. I just forget to use them. Okay, now that I have a few people here in the chat, what do I mean when I say wavy edge with the coticule? Let me clean this off real quick. Over here, it's 10 in the morning. I really appreciate it, man. I was ignorant to the existence of coticule stones, for example, before you enlightened me. Yeah, when I used to do a lot of knife sharpening, I didn't even know about coticles. When I talk about a wavy edge of the coticule that appears at the apex, the reason for that is coticles have the abrasives inside them. What you're seeing right now, this is the clay binder. Inside the clay binder, there is, and that's my dog, inside the clay binder, there is the abrasive, which is the garnet. The garnet is shaped like a dodecahedron. It's rounded, almost rounded like. And so when you use a abrasive that is a dodecahedron in this case, and that rolls through the apex of the edge, it will make that wavy edge. It's not going to be flat. Some people might look at it and say, there's something wrong with the edge. There's nothing wrong with the edge. That's actually the coticule edge, because if you have a dodecahedron abrasive, then you would imagine that when it rolls at the apex, it would make it wavy and not like a straight line or anything like that. So if you want a coticule edge, you want that wavy edge at the apex. That's what's going to give you that comfort that we speak about. So when I talk about a wavy edge, that is what I mean. It's very different from chipping. Chipping is more like a bread knifey look. I'm looking at the undercut here, and I've been having undercut for a while now. And maybe now we'll start doing my, because I wasn't counting before. So I'll start doing like a minimum. My first time honing, I thought the undercut meant the bevel was fully set. No. It's wild that the culture of straight razor sharpening has these tools and techniques that are absent from knife sharpening. I know, right? I started as a knife guy, and when I came into the razor world, it was like, what are they even talking about? These guys are crazy. I'm seeing some bubbles. That does not mean it's done, but they're always nice to watch. Yes, when I see good undercut, I drop the pressure. When you're using a coticule, it's different than a synthetic. In synthetics, your pressure can stay the same all the time. With a coticule, if you really want to master it, you should focus both on pressure, time, undercut, a lot of things you should be looking at. That waxy look is why so many honers, scope guys, and the Dr. Matt sheep struggle with coticles and HO 8 or 12K to running water. They're just making sure they don't have caudy edge. Yes, I agree with that. Sorry, but it's just, I've been honing on these stones for a while, and there definitely is a difference in comfort when it comes to that apex. It needs to look wavy. That's what makes a coticule a coticule. The abrasive is a dodecahedron, so it's rounded. It should look wavy because it's going to roll at the apex and make it have that wavy look. But that's different from the chipped look. You don't want a chipped look at the apex. It should not look chipped or bread knifey. It should look wavy. So there you guys can see it's kind of squeegeeing. It's squeegeeing all that swarf. I'm gonna put some laps in here real quick, just for time's sake. The number one thing that helps guys new with coticles is to quit looking at the edge, follow the process. Yes. I've tried so many edges, shaved off of them, looked at the edge afterwards, and it looks like shit, but it shaves shaves really comfortable. Now somebody else could go and say, well, it looked like shit, but it shaved nice because of this and that. And when you do the math equation, 2 times plus 3 plus, and that's a scientific reason why it looked like shit, but it shaved well. Well, that's not for me. I don't do this for my ego or anything like that. I do all this shit to have fun and shave. Thank you. This is my Milky. Do you like my dilutions? Bubbles are good. Muddy is bad. Thick hips are best. Man. This Cajun knows his stuff. Guys, I subscribe to a big time straight razor guy on here. I talked about sharpening knives and he told me in layman's terms that I pretty much wasn't welcome there. Notice how the slurry kind of want to moves to the left. But I also want to make sure that I'm using slurry here at the heel. So I'm kind of using my razor to move that slurry to the right. I don't need to tilt the stone or anything. I can, with my stroke, move that slurry to the right side of the stone. But you got to make sure you're using the slurry on the entire length of the blade. Now, sometimes you will see maybe the heel is a little bit off. I don't really shave with the heel that much, but I still want to make sure I'm hitting it. But if it's a tad less keen, that's not a deal breaker for me. If it is for you, then that's great. When you do your honing, you can focus on that. My girl watches these lives, so I can't talk about Brazilian hips or different types of hips. I'll get in trouble. I am the same way. Well, I do like sharpening knives, especially freehand. So I sharpen both because I like to. At work though, I just have a coarse grit 400. And I sharpen all the cook's knives with that. I don't refine it. I don't make it. I know they're going to, by the next day, they're going to be chopping up so much stuff that it's going to need another touch-up. So and I still have undercut. Yeah, I still have undercut, so I'm gonna skip this step. And add more water. I am an Arkansas junkie. I love them for my hunting knives. I will put my kitchen knives on anything. Not really picky on them, but I want my Skinners surgical sharp. Oh yeah, baby. I have never tried using an arc stone for knife sharpening, but that would be fun. Doing some X strokes here. Listening to, I have undercut. I'm putting some pressure. I'm listening to that wispy sound. Taking the pressure off now. Without pressure, I still have undercut. Let me slow it down. Slowing it down, I still have undercut. So we're gonna go dilute. You have to learn how to read these things. You can't be like, I'll do 20 and then that should be enough. No, you do 20 and give yourself that minimum and check how the edge is doing, how the signs are telling you what the edge is doing. So everybody knows you can get undercut if you go really fast. You can get squeegee if you go really fast. So what do? You want to check if the edge is there? Well, you slow it down. Instead of doing it really quick, you slow it down. Do I still have undercut? Okay, that's a good sign that I'm heading into the right direction. If you're doing it slow and you're not getting undercut, well, maybe put a little bit more pressure and do more laps. Do you only have to do more pressure and more laps? Well, you could have a thicker slurry, but by the time you have a thicker, you're checking, you're already diluting. So maybe put a little bit more pressure, a little bit more torque, make sure that edge is engaged, and do the work that needs to be done. This is an abrasive, and this is metal, and you are removing metal. So eventually you'll get there. Right now I'm doing it slowly, and I have undercut. And I'm getting undercut at the entire length of the blade. So I'm going to keep diluting. How much? I don't know. I believe this is a Legris. 8x3 Legris. And now we're getting to that misty kind of slurry, dirty water kind of slurry. You know, learning to read these signs in a way is scientific because you have data. So you don't need to overcomplicate it, but there's different data that you're looking at. You got the razor is dull. Okay. I'm putting the razor on the stone, and the undercut is getting better. Okay, that tells you you're going into the right direction. That's a point of data that you have. A microscope is a point of data when you look at it visually, but there's other things that you can look at. Like I said, slowing down the undercut. Am I still getting undercut when I do it slow? Point of data. Don't kid yourself. If you aren't getting undercut when you do it slowly, suddenly going fast and getting undercut, and you're like, okay, I'm getting undercut, you're just lying to yourself. If you think that's a completion of the stage that you're on. My favorite beer, I don't know if I have a favorite beer, but because I'm more like a type of guy that likes different artisan beers. I like playing around with it. It's what I feel like on the day, but the one I always used to drink when I was in college was Heineken, so that one always reminds me of my college days. And I could be more efficient here. I could do 15, 20 X strokes and be like, let me check how the undercut is doing. Okay, I have really good undercut. I can dilute again. I could do that since I'm in the live stream right now and I'm having fun. I'm almost in a meditative zone right now. And I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So this could go faster. I'm just choosing not to make it go faster. Okay. Can any Belgian coticule give a razor sharp edge? I found them to be the cheapest where I've looked. I have never not used a coticule that did not give me a shaving edge. There are people that say that there's guys out there that say that not every coticule is a razor coticule. The most possible scenario or what could be happening there is that the honer itself is not yet at a level where they can use every coticule and get a shaving sharp edge. You would think the most how do I say this without offending anybody? The most common denominator is usually the honer and not the stone itself. The stone is a stone. The stone is abrasive. And you can push stones. They might be... There's a limit to the stone, but you can go around it with different types of methods. I have not found a coticule that I cannot get a shaving sharp edge. If somebody disagrees with me and they're mad about it, and they have a coticule that they can't get shaving sharp, I've always said this, that they can send the stone to me. I'll pay for the shipping. I'll hone on the coticule. But nobody's ever sent me anything. So I guess I don't know. I guess that scares people. Somebody else trying out the stone and being like, dude, it was you. You know? Blue goo, just because I'm sure Sean is using it for his coticles, so I kind of want to keep it similar to his honing. And let me take the time to change the layer of tape to a new one. Yeah, the most common denominator is most likely always the honer itself. You did a straight razor shave off camera last night? Me too, man, and I really enjoyed it. I was actually in the phone with Robert while I was shaving. And that was also very fun. Alright, guys, just putting a layer of tape here. We're going to get back to honing. I am all I am walking Dunning-Kruger effect man myself, so it's never my fault. It's always the raiser of the stone. I know you're kidding because you're always blaming yourself in a way, and that's how you have to be. You have to blame yourself, because if you always just say, "Oh, it's not my fault, it's the razor's fault, or it's the stone's fault," then you're less likely to improve, because you will not take that opportunity to learn. You won't value it as much. Especially when you have a new stone. When you have a new stone, you are unfamiliar with the stone. So it is easy to use a stone and trying using it the same way you used other stones and being like, huh, this thing sucks. Well, you still don't know the stone. You've only honed on it once or twice, or there's stones I have here that I've had for months, but I haven't used as much, and I still don't know those stones, you know, and eventually I will, and the stone is perfect. The stone has its place, and you have to respect its capabilities, but you also have to rise up to the challenge and be like, these are the stone's capabilities, but I can push it further with different techniques that are, quite frankly, very easily obtainable on the internet. There's a lot of things you can do to maximize. It's not the stone's fault you're not doing your proper research. Always blame yourself, I feel like, is a good way of looking at it. I used my new coticule for hours. It wouldn't sharpen anything, so I tore off the cellophane, and threw it out. Don't know what was wrong with it. No. Did you really? Yeah, me either, Eric. Like I said, I've always said that if someone has a coticule, and I hope someone has a coticule out there that doesn't get their razor sharp. If you have that coticule, which you don't like because it doesn't get your razor sharp, so instead of gatekeeping it, how about you send it over? I'll pay for the shipping. I'll send it back when I'm done, but I'll test it out, and I don't even have to make a video on camera of saying like, oh, that coticule that you have, and showing everybody. I don't have to do that. I can just do it off camera and be like, yeah, dude, I honed on it. So that offer is always out there. If you have a coticule that doesn't get your razor sharp, you can send it to me. I can check it out for you. I'll pay for the shipping. And that way you'll know for sure. But like I said, nobody has ever taken that offer. And I think the reason for that is ignorance is bliss. I feel like that's what it comes down to. Ignorance is bliss. It's not my fault. It's the rock's fault. You think I'm nice? Thank you, brother. Okay, now taking off pressure. And I'm doing not quite weight of the blade. Using a paddle strap here. Yeah, I'll take any stone that you can't. I'll take any stone and just pay for the shipping. Okay. Greg Gallant in the house. Yeah, I still don't know how to measure the, not measure, how to gauge keenness with these packing peanuts, but they seem pretty keen. I'm not putting any pressure. Because I thought, I see guys going in like this. I thought with the packing peanut, you kind of have to like put it there. The packing peanut, I thought you put it there and just let it fall. And that's how you were supposed to gauge it. Without putting pressure, just letting it fall. Yeah. I think that's ready. Okay. I think that's ready for Sean G. 2 razors done. I hope you guys don't mind if I get another cup of coffee. If you guys are out of coffee, I think now's the time. Quick intermission break. Getting a cup of coffee will only take me about like 2 minutes, and you're gonna hear it because the espresso machine is right there next to me. If only it was run. Okay. Coffee is done. Let me remove some stones here from the bench. There's something I want to play with. I'll leave the coticule here. All right. Just because Greg Galland is here. So this is the razor I used for my bevel shaving video. This has the 1K edge, so I need to hone this up because I don't want to forget and just have it there with a 1K edge. You can shave with a bevel setter. Do I recommend you shave with a bevel setter stone? I do not. I do not recommend you shave with a bevel setter. The whole reason for that video was more to show the capabilities of what you can do. And having that information out there, seeing that, you do with that what you want. There's a difference in the quality of the shave depending on what stone you use. And it's a flavor thing. And if you like shaving with a 1K edge, then by all means, do it. It's your face. In my case, I did it for the video. I got a comfortable shave. I didn't get any irritation. But could it have been better? It could have been a lot better. I guess I'm a YouTuber now, so what a YouTuber does is more to showcase things, explain things in different ways, visually, audibly. So I was trying to get my point across that you can do more than what you think you can. This was sold to me as a surgical black. I think it's more of a true hard. But that's okay. Leon told me it's all the same. Now, I can't remember. Okay, this is my coma. This is my, what does that say? That's Tenju. This is Majiro. And this is Botan. Okay. And I'm doing this just because Greg Galland is here. And Greg Galland is one of the coolest guys I have met in this hobby. And he did this. I did this before with the... I had done this before with the Black Shadow with good success. Exactly. It's kind of like that Murray Carter video. It's only for video. It's not... We're all YouTubers here in a sense, so I know some people don't want to call themselves a YouTuber, but you make YouTube videos, you're a YouTuber. So I had done this using the Mikawa Nagura on the Black Shadow, and I really liked it because the black shadow has more tactile feel than the Arkansas stone. And in a way, I think it's a little bit more stupid proof, because the Arkansas stones are so hard, man. If you make a bad stroke, it's going back to the drawing board. But I remember Greg Gallant made a video doing this with his surgical, and man, that just goes to show his skill, because if he had made one bad stroke, it's going back to the drawing board. How much slurry do I want here? Enough to do the work, and we might be there already. Move this out of the way. I don't want to hit any rocks. Cajun cutter. And this might actually be a good idea. You know how guys say, oh, you want a level 5 plus Japanese stone. And then you look at the price tag and it's like 500 plus, or even more than that sometimes. Well, you got a really hard base stone here that is really fine, which is the, in my case, a true hard, but in your case, it can be the surgical black or translucent. So you can buy for a cheaper price, maybe a surgical, maybe a trans, maybe a true hard, depending on your budget. Usually true hards are a little bit cheaper. Translucents seem to be the most expensive ones. And then you can buy a set of Mikawa Nagura. Where's my coffee? I just saw the chat and you guys are making fun of my Arkansas. Arkansas. I got this Arkansas stone. John, what's up, my man? Using Mikawa Nagura on this surgical black. The first one to do it that I saw was Greg Gallant. This is Botan. I believe this is Botan. If my kanji isn't wrong. You got the idea from Jacques? Jacques. Man, I love his bathroom. It looks so big and bright. There is a quote that says, good artists create excellent artists steal. This is a book series I called 48 Rules of Power. Great book. It's kind of a dark psychology what grit is a slurry stone? Well, this one is Botan, so if my calculations are correct, this is around 4,223.1 grit rating. Specifically that. And I gotta say, this actually feels really nice. The tactile sensation. You have that glassy, velvety base stone. Or, I mean, you got that hard, glassy stone. And then you got that velvety sensation from the Botan. And one of the favorite Mikao Nagura that I use is Botan. I really like the way Botan feels. I really like the way Majiro feels. Mahito. John says, maybe I need to give this another go. I didn't have good results, but I probably didn't put enough work. Man, you're using all those curved stones, those hump stones. You're just wrong for using those curved stones, man. I'm joking. Different tools for the job. Different roads to the same place. I'm the broke back honer. I like it when you put the other stone on top and then you do the whoosh and it twirls around. I'm like, oh, that's sexy. You're just a sexy honer, man. Your honing style is very sensual. No homo. But it's the truth. You got that swagger to it. Like you've been doing this for years and years and years. When I look at you, hone, I'm like, that dude has been doing this for a long while. That guy knows his shit. Especially when you have that stainless steel bowl. When you take that stainless steel bowl, I'm like, shit is going to go down. I'm looking at the slurry. It's a lot darker now. John, I have a question because I do this for knife sharpening. I've never done it for razors because I thought it was very fragile, the edge. And I've learned this from Murray, but you put your finger and you don't put any pressure, but you go forward. And I can feel, I'm not going, I kind of want to go forward to see if it's catching. And my finger is telling me, don't do that because you're going to cut yourself. I can feel it catching. I do that for my knives, but will this damage the apex doing this? I mean, probably not. Probably not. Never mind. That probably won't damage the apex. What up, what up, what up, Devin? Devin Jackson in the house. Get your cups of coffee. Okay, so that is Botan. I think I'm done with Botan. Actually, never mind. I'm not done with Botan. I'm doing another round of Botan. Why? Because I can. Because I can do another round of Botan. I love you too, baby. See, I told you she was watching. Don't message her. I don't want any of you freaks talking to my girl. I like the wispy sound when you... Greg, I really like the wispy sound of the Botan here on the Arc. Mate guarding. Yeah, I use it for knives as well, but I haven't done it on razors. I've been experimenting with it after watching JPO. I was just afraid, like, it's so thin that I might be damaging it. Man, we got a full house here. I miss Sean G, though. Oh, yeah, this is the new Mikawa Sano Nagura that I got. I got this one that's new, and they still need to be, sealed. But, hey, I'll do that another day. And then I have the new Majiro. I do need it. I need to need a chew. I have this one that's sealed. This is my my Tenju and my Koma that is sealed. I need a bigger Koma because all these other ones are pretty big, like a really nice chunk. I do need a chew. The packing peanut was an awesome revelation for me. That's thanks to you guys. Man, we really do have a nice little group here. We should make a group chat out of everybody. Actually thinking about that. You guys are gonna be blowing up my phone way too much. Never mind, scratch that. Well, Eric, maybe I want to chew. How about I holla at Chew? Oh, Jesus Christ. Cringe. Okay, this needs water, and I've been looking at it, knowing it needs more water. Let me try this out, see how it feels. And I feel that's a, that feels like a nice density. For this round, so before I just did the water and Mikawa Nagura. And for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of ONR sent to me by Sean G. Optimum no rinse, that was... Oh, and that changes the feel. That definitely changes the feel. But it feels like it incorporates itself with the... Oh, that changes the feel really nice. Okay. So I feel like that's the way to do this on the arc stone. Put some ONR and some slurry. Oh, man. That's sensual. I wish you guys could feel what I'm feeling right now. And when you're using these hard stones, you gotta be careful not to make a bad stroke. A bad stroke can take you out. This is my second round of Botan, so I'm not too worried about the density or any of that. Let's see where I land. You need to kill the edge between the gurus. Don't overhone. I don't know if I don't know what I know. I was gonna say something not like Eric said, but I was gonna say I don't know if I kill edges all that often, only for videos. But for example, when I got that edge from Shanji, I did not kill the edge. I know that the work I was doing was enough to change the scratch pattern and put my own edge on there. I don't need to kill the edge to know that. But Eric said it in a more Cajun manner, I guess. Pardon my French, but killing the edge is dumb. Really nice undercut. And I think I'm going to leave it there for the Botan. That was a small, little, quick second Botan round. Why did I do 2 rounds? Well, because maybe do a little more than a little less. Now, I hate using paper towels, but that's what I got at the moment. Because when you use paper towels, it kind of leaves a little residual particle there. I'm trying to take those residual particles out. Majiro, no. Tenju. Yeah, I only do the killing of the edge for the YouTube videos just because it looks good. But if you know, you know. Some guys put a little slurry of Mikawa Nagura. I try not to be so stingy. I need enough Mikawa in there to do the work. Yeah, I would try this with the ONR. I really like the feel of ONR on the arc with the Mikawa Nagura. Without it, you can feel a little bit of resistance. So maybe I'll start without it and then maybe add some ONR later on. When I don't like the feel, I like this feel, but I feel like it's going to start sticking a lot more. And I have noticed, I always say this, learned this from Keith Johnson, put your finger right in there and feel what you're doing. Learn to feel. Because learning how to feel is a point of data that you're going to have. Everything that's going on here is information. You just need to learn how to read that information. I had some razor that spoke Chinese, and they say they hated me. I hate those gold dollars. Yeah, you need to become a sensitive honer. And there's a difference between learning the sensation that the hone gives you and being a sensitive honer. If you're a sensitive honer, that everything affects you, then there's a few forums out there I can tell you to go and you'll fit just right in. A lot of sensitive honers. Get in your touchy-feely side. Oh, yes, sir. Now, when you start on the Mikawa Nagura, eventually it kind of breaks down and it feels like you're honing on water instead of a slurry. And that's how you know the slurry is done for. And you can move a step or you can do another round of whatever Mikawa Nagura you were using. Different from the coticule, which the garnet really never breaks. There is some breaking of the garnet, but it's very slow, and it's so slow you probably couldn't feel it. But yeah, the garnet does not break in the sense a JNAT slurry breaks down. Ding, 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 ding. You got it, Bill. Okay, I'm feeling some stickage here. So, going in with the O&R. There was a change in the way it felt. And so what do? I have different tools I can use to go around that boulder, in a sense. I was finding myself in trouble because I do not like when the razor sticks to the stones. I don't like pushing it. It feels like it's a speed bump, and I think John said it the best. It feels like you're on a car and you're going 100 miles per hour and you hit a speed bump. That, for me, is no good for the apex of the edge. And so that's something I do not enjoy when I'm honing. I don't like when the razor sticks. I don't like when it jumps. So I have different tools. Now I have O&R. I can incorporate that O&R with the slurry, and it makes the surface a lot slicker. I can stay ignorant and not look into ways of going around that issue, but I can also read and try out different things. And for this specific situation, I think the O&R helps with the slurry and not making it stick so much to the stone. I think B&B will be offering victim cards for $100 this year. I'm lighting up my pressure now. I'm going slow to see the undercut. Nice slow undercut from heel to toe. Oh man, I added water. It felt like I was honing on slurry, and like 6-7 passes, it just kinda just dropped. I think that's 2 rounds on Botan. 2 rounds, or 1 round on Tenju. Are there faster ways to hone a razor? Sure. There are faster ways to hone a razor. Will I enjoy it as much as I am enjoying playing with this? The answer is no. And if you have a different opinion, you're entitled to be wrong. Good morning, Sean. Before this one, I honed up your razor. So that's ready to go. Well, I actually need to strop it first, because I like sending my razor stropped the way I like stropping. I always recommend you try out my stropping technique the way I stropped it. If you don't like it, strop it to your own liking. Majiro. Yes, sir. That's Majiro right there. How do I know? Because I know. All right, Glenn, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for drinking your cup of coffee. That reminds me, I have some coffee over here. Oh yeah, that's a big chunk of Majiro. That's why I'm not being stingy with it. I like to initially put a good amount of slurry on the stone. See you, Gary. Have a good one, my friend. Because this will last me a very long time. There's no need to be stingy. It's better to have more. It's long and thick. Yes, sir. I find it's better to start off with a little bit more slurry than you need, because having a little more is better, in my opinion, than having a little less. And if you think differently, I said this before, you're entitled to be wrong. I want to send you a razor, Greg. Get your input on it, because I really like the way you hone. Oh, Majiro is... Ugh. I think so too, Eric. I think Majiro is my favorite as well. I see bubbles. That's not a sign of completion, because we just started, but it is nice to see, and it's interesting to see, in my opinion. I do have undercut, though. That does not tell me much, though. It's nice to see. Have you guys seen that girl from Ukraine called Sun Razors? Have you guys seen her razors? I've seen 2 or 3 of them, and I actually was thinking of getting one, a custom one. Curious to see what you guys think. Okay, this is already sticking, so putting a little O&R there, and that instantly, just that little bit, changes the feel completely. Now the razor, feeling it stick, is a point of data, because the razor, when I started on the Majiro, was not sticking to the stone, but then it was. So there was a change between those 2 factors. Something happened. Very nice. And so far, so good. No bad strokes. 1 stroke can take you back to bevel setting. These stones are unforgiving. One of the best finishers out there. One of the most unforgiving. Greg says, Eric, I've been stuck on True/Coma. Haven't used a Sano sequence in a while. Between you and Eric, you guys are good salesmen. You make that True sound really exciting. Sean, you missed it. I honed your razor. I don't know if I told you. I honed it on camera. 1 layer of 700 Scotch tape, and for the finishing I used the O&R because I imagine that's what you use for finishing instead of oil. Try it. Try it. I like it. I like it. I got it right here, Greg. I like it especially for when I have like something like Mikawa Nagura or something that is a slurry type and then it starts sticking. The O&R kind of mixes very well with the slurry. If I'm using it without slurry, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not much different from glycerin soapy mix. But the glycerin soapy mix does not incorporate itself very well with slurry, in my opinion, like this does. So, and that's just my initial thoughts. And hopefully he does a video. Hopefully you make a video, Greg. I know it's Saturday. I don't know if you want to make a video, but I really do enjoy your honing videos, my friend. I like Majiro so much that I'm gonna do another round of Majiro. How long have I been live here? In 10 minutes, it's gonna be 2 hours. Look at that color. Isn't it so interesting to see the different colors these Japanese stones get? Amazing. Love the variety. Love looking at those colors. Yep, video coming. I had my adult kids visiting for the last week, so I have been preoccupied with family. Nothing more important than family, Greg. Alrighty, I think that's enough Majiro. So 2 rounds Botan, 1 round Tenju, 2 rounds Majiro, maybe 1 round Koma. I don't like Koma that much, if I'm being honest. Sorry, I had a phone call. No problems, Rob. Very interesting. MSDS on O&R for those. Mikawa, Asano. Wait, what? MSDS was... I don't know what that means. Starting to stick here to the stone. So putting some O&R again. And instantly it changes the feel. Oh. Gary is back. Hopefully your next roll of dice is a straight razor, Gary. Oh, there's some nice big Nagura stones, Rob. The Coma is my smallest one. Material safety data sheet. Oh, yeah. Greg, this is a fantastic feeling. O&R with a Smikawa slurry on the True Hard, or in your case, Surgical Black. I feel like that. I feel like you're going to like that. It would be nice if you tried it and let me know what you think. Because the Mikawa, when it's on water on the Arkansas, it gets to a point where it starts kind of like sticking to the stone, like it's grabbing and it doesn't want to let go. And then you put some O&R and it just starts velvety glideness. Gonna lower my pressure here. I know you guys can't see it on camera, but I'm just letting you know, so that way you guys have more information of what I'm doing. I mean, J-nut edges are definitely in the conversation. If you were to ask, what's the best edge? You're like, I know it's a flavor thing, but the J-nut edge is definitely at the tippity top of best finishers for straight razors. And I know it's a flavor thing, but that's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of people gravitate to that J-nut edge just because they're awesome performers. Okay. Done with Majiro. I'm going to go to Coma now. But before that, I'm going to change the layer of tape that I have here. Oh, I just smacked you guys. My bad. It is 11:30 here in Puerto Rico. Like always, we have good weather. The weather here is always the same. We always have this saying that it's always summer in Puerto Rico. And it really is. Yes, Bill, the soap I use has coconut oil in it. I'm interested to compare it with O&R. Eric says, I am boring. I like water on my progression. If I was using my 4.5 JNAT, that new one I got, Eric, I would probably not use ONR. Because like you, I like the sensation that gives me. In this case, for the arc where it sticks and it grabs and it doesn't want to let go, I feel like that's the use for ONR that I like. Because if I use soapy, the soap mix, you said you like ONR for your arc, but it's not oil in my opinion. It's not. See ya, Eric. See, unlike Eric, if I'm strictly finishing, I don't like ONR with the arc. I like oil only. But if I'm using Mikawa Nagura like I am now, I do like the ONR. Or it's not that I don't like ONR, it's just I prefer oil. But I don't like that oil is messy as fuck, dude. Yeah, today is Eric's birthday. So I like the fact that ONR is like not messy at all, you know? It mixes well with Nagura in my opinion. I don't think it's far different from a glycerin soap mix. The way it feels for me. And I like the smell of ONR. It kind of smells like when you're a kid. That it feels like some sort of medicine I used to have when I was a kid. We got the coma here. Which, by the way, I got this ONR because Sean sent it to me. Which is an amazing thing to do. Thank you, Sean. I feel like ONR is definitely a nice tool to have in your arsenal. And that's the way I've been looking at things. It's nice to have different tools in your toolbox. Be it ONR, be it convex hones, be it whatever, you know. A bevel setter is a tool in your toolbox. Can you set a bevel with a 5K? Yes, you can. Can it be as fast as a Chosero 1K? No, so it's nice having that tool and doing the work faster. ONR, I like how it mixes with the Nagura on these stones that want to stick. The convex hones, I like how it makes that bevel thinner. If I don't want to jack up the spine or something like that. And I especially like the 25-foot wheel. Because with warped razors, it really helps. Are there other ways to work with a warped razor? Yeah, of course, but it's whatever suits you. No right or wrong. Well, there are things that are just wrong, but okay, that is Coma on the True Hard. I think it was sold to me as a surgical, but I don't know. Man, right off the bat, that's sticking. Yeah, definitely the O&R's big ups on stones that kind of grab your razor. Big W, big win for O&R. More hollow, not necessarily thinner. Yeah, back beveling it. I have honing to do today myself. How about you do a live? Huh, Rob? Oh, no, you gotta do those. Yeah, never mind. I am eager to try out the edge Bill put on the razor he is sending my way. One of the... Okay, out of all the guys I watch, Bill always has some of the keenest razors out there. And Greg Gallant as well. Just on camera, what I can see. I haven't tried their edges, but from what I can see, Bill M and Greg Gallant have the keenest edges. Look, the keenest for me. Glenn is back. I'm back. Cried. Who cried when you were gone? I cried when you were gone. You know what stone I think you would like, Glenn? I think you would like a surgical black or a true hard or a translucent, because you really like your 12K. Well, if you go from your 12K to a surgical black, you can do 5 minutes of honing there on the surgical and you're going to get a really nice keen edge. Definitely keener than any slate out there. Slate is slate. Many roads to Rome. Find what you like. Exactly, my friend. Yeah, I'm super excited to try out Bill's edge as well. Oh, wait. I haven't tried his edge yet. Maybe I can send him a razor so he tries out my edge and then he can rehone that. After you shave, call me. I want to conduct an experiment to determine the effect of my stropping technique. My mate Aaron Johnson has always said a Dan surgical black arc is what I'm after, but they are very hard to flatten and dress and resurface. Not necessarily. You can use powders to flatten. And once it's flat, it's going to stay flat for a long while. It's so hard. And Dan's usually comes like really flat. If you buy a Arkansas stone from a third-party seller that isn't Dan's, it might not come as flat, but Dan's does a pretty good job at sending their Arkansas stones flat. And what was the other thing? dress and resurface, just take some wet dry 600 for your surgical and do that on one side, and if you want to burnish it on the other, you can burnish it on the other side. So you have like the 600 on one side, the burnished side on the other. Different opinions on burnished or not. Some people like it, some people don't. Mine isn't burnished. And it gives a very keen edge. Bill, I did the math for 4-inch, 6-inch, and 25 cylindrical wheels. I'll have to hit the bugs to do it for the toroidal section that Jared uses. Okay, this is coma starting to feel like water now. Doesn't feel like a slurry, feels like water. I think we did the job that was supposed to be done here. Now, should I go Tomo? Or should I just go on the Arkansas without slurry? What do you think? And I want to get Greg's opinion on this, because he is the master. Dan Stones are machine flattened. There you go. Knife sharpening Norway. Hope I like the green shadow. I talked to one stone and it's so hard. He said it's finished in oil. Oil will always give like a really keen edge. Well, like a smooth keen edge. It bumps up your apex up a little bit. So yeah, I don't burnish an arc as well. I haven't done it. Another thing you can do is just have one side where you just hone and hone and hone, and eventually that'll, in my mind, get burnished, right? If you keep honing on one side, I go Tomo, why not? Let's do it. Let me clean the razor. When I get my green shadow, I'm going to lap and wash it with soap and get rid of the oil in it. Your green shadow has oil in it. This is from Griffith Shaving Goods. If you're interested in a 10% discount code, go check out the Razor's Edge. He has a 10% discount code for a one-time use on Griffith Shaving Goods. I still haven't used mine. Yeah, as said, when they mix the stones, they finish with oil. All packing peanuts are not created equal. I agree with that. Glenn, doesn't he mean that he puts oil on top of the slate when he's finishing? Not that... I don't know. I don't burnish. I sand to 1500 wet dry. Okay, but Bill, my question is, let's say you sanded it to 1500, and then you start honing and honing and honing for like 3 years on that side, and you never sand it again. Eventually, it'll get burnished, right? Yeah. I can get Shapton Ceramic 30K for just... Holy shit, brother. This stone is so hard, and the Tomo as well. It's a little bit difficult to create a... Gary, Shapton 30K and Sohiro 20K are almost the same abrasive particle size. I've heard better things about the 20K than the 30K Shapton. Yeah, this Tomo is so hard, and the stone itself, the base stone is so hard that it's having a hard time creating a slurry. There we go. Once it kicks up, it kicks up. That Invitica stone I got is very tough to get a slurry going. Oh, yeah. And you got to be careful because you can't go too hard that you scratch up the surface. If you scratch up the surface, that's no bueno, mi amigo. I feel like something weird in there. Checking with my fingers. Whenever you feel something weird on your stone, make sure you stop what you're doing and you're checking. Whatever feels weird on the stone is going to feel weird on your edge. Just remember that. By the way, I've heard you can use diamond spray on either the green shadow or the Arkansas to further improve and push the edge. Anyone tried it? And again, the green shadow is machine surfaced in oil according to one stone. Oh, there we go. It was a piece of hair, it looked like. And over here as well. I don't like the way of diamond feels. And I know I need to catch up on the comments here. I just don't want to miss any comments. So you guys take the time to write me here. So I want to answer to every comment, and I'm a little behind. I don't like the way diamond sprays feels. I don't like the way paste feels. And that might change in the future. I don't know. I didn't used to like a synthetic edge, and now I've learned how to get comfortable edges with synthetic edges. It also has to do with your technique. If you have improper technique when shaving and your angle is too high, it can affect things. I'm pretty sure Barkeeper's Friend is an old guy trick. I have 0.05 micron nanohone stone that works well. This is a JNat. No, this is a True Heart Arkansas stone. It was sold to me as a surgical, but I feel like it's more of a True Heart. It has that spot right here. I don't know if surgicals have that spot. It's just a marketing term. He probably sold it as a surgical just to get more money. Barkeeper's Friend is a recommended cleaner polisher for all clad cookware. I have Barkeeper's, great stuff. Omid, hey Sean. What's up, brother? How you doing, my friend? By the way, no homo, but I'm on the man. Porcelain throne, talking. Okay. Okay, seems like we have a good amount of slurry here. Man, that took a while. Let me see. Yeah, that's a good amount. I think that's a good amount. I'm great. What about you? Finally catching your live. Well, first of all, thank you for being here. Today is Saturday, so I know everybody has like things to do, but over here it's almost 12. I just felt like having a coffee, chit-chatting with my friends, having a honing session, playing around with different stones. All right. Oh, that feels really nice. Playing with an Arkansas with Mikawa Nagura. Mikawa Nagura is a Japanese stone. And already, man, it's starting to stick. And there we go. Oh, I do need bench cookies, man. If you find the link for the bench cookies and send it my way, I would really appreciate that. We Shawns have to take care of each other. You know what I also need? I need a fucking Shapton pond is what I need. I heard that makes your honing better. I kid. Yes, Glenn, please tell us less, brother. Thanks again for the tip with oil on a coddy. Of course, my man. I got you. There's an old sharpening book by, I believe it was Norton Abrasives. I have the PDF on my phone. If you're interested, I have my email. I can send it to you. But they talk about oil and how it makes a smoother, keener edge. It's slower, but it gives a better end result, they say, for sharpening razors. I have the PDF on my phone. I can send it to you if you're interested. It's the best seat in the world. Yep. With the family gone, I'm having a coffee and a morning cigar. I almost never do this. I used to be a smoker and also a vapor. And one of the, I gotta say, I quit now because I was doing it too much. Man, the smoker's flu I got after when I quit was horrible. I just quit. The next day, I'm like, I'm going to stop. And then the next day, I stopped. I'm like that. I'm really hard-headed. I stopped. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is the best breakfast you can have, in my opinion, and this will never change, is a cup of coffee and a smoke. And I think about it, and I'm like, man, it was just so relaxing, so enjoyable. I guess eventually, when I'm older, I'll go back to it. Yeah, Dear Diary, I spent Saturday morning talking about to a Viking while he shat. Isn't like the world record for a fossilized dump a Viking dump? I'm pretty sure the world record is a Viking dump. Well, Bill, you finally reached your old age, and young strapping lad, you will have a fond memory, Bill. Yeah, drop me a message, Omid. I got you, my friend. And if you don't mind, I can send you my phone number. We can chat. We can any questions you have. If I have the answer, I am more than happy to help out a fellow friend. Just sent you the link to the bench cookies. Thank you, brother. We Seans have to look out for each other. Oh, cigar. I've tried a good one once, and it was really nice and smooth, but literally a couple hours later, puked and was severely ill. Scandinavian breakfast. Yeah, man, the amount of money I was spending, and it was crazy. You gave cigarettes in the 70s? I only smoked a tiny bit with the Beach Boys when on vacation. Well, when I go on vacation, I don't have cigarettes, but I will have a cigar. Like I'm on my vacation days, I'll buy cigars, and while I'm on vacation, I will give myself the pleasure of having a cigar. I read somewhere that when you have fast food, it's the same as a cigar. Like the damage that it does to your body. I think they say one cigar takes away 11 minutes of your life. They were saying that eating fast food does the same. So if that's the case, I'm fucked either way. Undercut is violent. Yeah, that's good enough for the Tomo. I think we can go straight on the arc now. We've been here a while on this arc, man. But it's so enjoyable. Like I said, this is not... If you want to go from point A to B, probably not the fastest. If you're doing this hobby, it doesn't have to be fast. It's more about enjoying the time that you have. And maybe slowing down. Life nowadays, especially with my generation, everybody wants things fast. And I find myself often anxious about that. I kind of want to slow things down and just enjoy things, the simple things. My wife takes more than 11 minutes of my live. Let me refresh the chat here, just in case. I don't want to be behind. Okay. I should be updated. I hate cigars. They always got me back on cigarettes. Last cigarette for me was a while I drove to the hospital having a heart attack. One last one before they locked me up. Stupidity, visual aid. Jesus Christ. Alright. I know I'm going to need this O&R. There's still some residual particles there. A premium hand cigar is only 2% of tobacco products. Almost all the health data is on the products you inhale. Those have a lot of chemical additives that a pure tobacco products don't have. Oh, this feels nice. By the way, since all is here, what do you awesome guys think is the best way to get a good edge when I get my green shadow stone? Hone on it. Hold on it, hold on it, hold on it. Do reps on it. Understand your stone, understand your razor, and shave with it. Sean Staplefield, please describe your usual determination in changing steps. Do you mean changing steps between Mikawa when I think the edge is ready? That looks so much work, Sean. Don't looking at it, talking softly to it be enough. No. It's steel on stone. All that soft touch bullshit, you're removing material from the razor, so just hone and hone and hone and hone. So, Bill, when I start, and let me take like a, I just got a new razor from Amazon or eBay, I mean. The first thing I do is check the grind, check if there's any rust on it. I'm gonna take you through the full process. If there's any rust on it, I check for flatness, I check the bevel angle with my calipers, and I put all that stuff into a sheet. And when I say sheet, I just mean my phone. So I know if it has a warp, and that tells me if I need to do a rolling X stroke, or if I can just, how I'm gonna hone the razor. If it has a smile, I know I want to have a sweeping stroke. So I know what you mean more about is a stone when I'm changing stones, but I'm taking you through the whole process. Doing all that tells me how I'm going to hone it. I'm going to do a sweeping X stroke. If I can just do a heel forward stroke. And just gives me a good foundation to start. The next thing I do is once I know the bevel angle, I decide which bevel angle I want to sharpen at. So let's say the bevel angle is really high, like in, I don't know, 21 degree bevel angle. I know I'm going to have to hone. If I have a razor that has 21 degrees bevel angle, I'm not going to hone on tape, and I'm probably going to convex it because I want to make that hollow more hollow. Or the other route I could take is Dr. Matting it and making the the bevel angle more acute. That's just me. I might be wrong. I might be right. But anyways, once I got all that obnoxious stuff out of the way and I have it just right, usually I try to hit a bevel angle of between 15 to 18 degrees. That's just what I like. For my Philharmonicas and this one, I do 14 because they can handle it really well. So the next stage is setting a bevel. I want to set my own bevel because I don't trust the bevel that was there from the guy that had the razor. So I go to my Chosera 1K. And the first thing I do is I lap every time because I want to have like a fresh surface. I want to make sure it's flat if I'm doing flat. And I give myself a minimum. So I do, on the bevel setting, I do like 100 to 200 X strokes. It might be 100, it might be more. But usually, on that first time I get a razor, I'd rather do more than do less. I know that whatever I do, I'm going to have to put more work later on. But I give myself a minimum, and then I test. I test on a cherry tomato to make sure that I am cutting. I can do tomato, packing peanut. I also check. I've been doing this lately now because of John. But I would check with my finger, and I put it on top of the blade, and then I push forward a little bit, slightly. And you say, oh, you're going to cut yourself. I'm just trying to feel. After the bevel is set, that is slicing through the tomato in a manner that I like, and it's going through the packing peanut. Exactly. Feel free to screw up, Glenn. After that, I go to a Chosera 3K, and I like having smaller jumps because smaller jumps means quicker honing for me. I could go straight to a 5K, 6K from the 1K and put a lot of laps and eventually get to the same place. I'd rather do smaller jumps on the synthetic. So I'll go to the 3K. And I always like setting the bevel on synthetics when I first get them. They're just so incredibly consistent. And then on the 3K, I will do about 50 to 100 laps, X strokes. I like doing X strokes. It just keeps all the scratches the same pattern. And I feel it gives me a keener edge. I don't know. It's also I get really proficient at them. After that, I go to my Hayabusa 4K. And I do about 40 to 50 X strokes. And if I feel like the edge isn't there, and it's a lot about feel. And using packing peanut to check if it's there. And then I'll go and max out my edge on the 4K. I might do 40 to 50 if everything's going smoothly. If it's not, I'll do a bunch of work on the 4K because the way I'm looking at it is, this is my belief, and you don't have to believe this, but the bevel angle, the bevel width is only going to get so acute. And from what I've read, it gets the thinnest at the 4K level or 3 micron level, which is around a bevel width of around 0.5 microns. What that means is it might be thicker at the 1K level, it might be thicker at the thinner at the 2K level, but it'll max out at 4K. And when you check that same bevel width at the 12K level, it's still going to be 0.15 microns. What happens is, in my eyes, I might be wrong here, it's just what works for me. My sharpness, I max it out at the 4K level or 3 micron level. And anything after that, I'm just polishing the surface of what is already the thinnest it's going to get. So I do 90% of my work on the early stages, which is 1K, 3K, 4K. And my 8K work goes, I don't know, I don't need more than 20 passes on the 8K. If I do, then I just go back and redo the work on the foundation level. I don't want to see big railroad tracks on the 8K. If I see a lot of swarf, I prefer to go back and redo the work. Take a drink here, parched. Before, for stage completion, I would do a lot of microscope images and look at them under the microscope. Now my mindset has changed because it can only get so good, right? It gets to a point that it's really not that hard when you do it enough. And I've been honing a lot. I don't show it on camera, but every day I get from work and I hone the same 3 razors, and I don't even shave with them. I just hone on them, play with them. So I hone a lot. I don't show it on camera, but I hone at least 3 razors every day. So you do it enough that you kind of get a feel for it. But yeah, before I would do a lot of microscope images, I would look at it under the microscope. Now I just kind of wing it, trying to let the let the stone talk to me. I know that sounds like a broken record, but I kind of want to do this to have fun and relax and meditate, and I don't really want to make it very scientific. So that's why I like packing peanut. I like the HHT test at the end, because I don't need all this stuff to like get the perfect edge, you know? I've been focusing a lot more on just having fun while honing, trying to read if it feels good on the razor. I just try to go forward, is what I'm trying to say. When sharpening the razor, I just try to go forward. And for a while now, the edge has felt the same. So I think I maxed this out on this stone. I just kept honing on it, but it feels like it's been maxed out for a while now. And I've been focusing a lot more also on shaving technique. You can shave with a variety of different edges. I find for synthetics, I always found that they were irritating for my skin. And ever since I changed my shaving technique with them and going to a more lower angle, my shaves have been great with synthetics. I see a lot of guys. Let me get a razor here. If this is your face, I shave with a synthetic like this, like the spine touching my face. I see guys using synthetics talking about getting discomfort, and they shave like this. And they just scrape. They're scraping, and then they're like, man, that's keen, but that I feel like it's irritating my skin. Well, yes, brother, because you're irritating your skin while scraping it. A synthetic like a 12K, for example, is so keen. You can just have it pretty close to your face and not have a problem. I don't really like the 12K that much, man. I prefer the 10K over the 12K. And that's just my I've had them. But then I sold my 10K also, and I bought the Fuji 8K. I should probably, I don't know if I have packing peanut here somewhere. Let me see if I have that packing peanut around here. Okay. Sometimes I leave things for the end of the toning session. Like I won't check during, I'll check after. It seems like it cuts a lot easier on the side. All right. How long have we been here? 2 hours, 30 minutes. I still have this Philharmonica that I want to touch up. I'm not sure. I think I'll leave this for another day, or maybe off camera for my fun. I think that's it for today. We sharpened 3 razors. I think that's it for today. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.